Good afternoon. Welcome to the first English episode of the Economic Sports Podcast. Today we are joined by His Excellency Olivier غوفان, Ambassador of France in Kuwait. Olivier, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, I'm super excited. As you see, we're going through a period, an exciting period in terms of sports. The World Cup has already started.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you as a first question, how are you enjoying this experience at the moment and the atmosphere of the World Cup?
It's a very special time. It's a unique moment because, at a personal level, first, it's a time for sharing, a time of friendship, a time of, passionate evenings, watching games with friends, colleagues, and French supporters. And as an ambassador as well, it's a very exciting time because, there's a big community of football fans in Kuwait and also of supporters of the French team. So I meet with people every day who support our national team, and I'm glad of that. And Kuwait is a country of football, as France is.
Yes.
You remember a few months ago, there was a final of the French Super Cup here in Kuwait at the Jaber Stadium.
Exactly.
And the stadium was full.
Yes. But I'm curious, are any of these activities are linked to the embassy itself, or is it more informal watching with friends?
Honestly speaking, it's more informal.
Mm-hmm.
We do try to participate, to contribute, to support sometimes, but it's mostly based on private initiatives. Football is a very popular sport, and it's good. People come there with their own initiatives.
Yes. Well, let's think about how this is going to pan out. Let's say, unfortunately, France is going to be eliminated. Moving forward, which national team would you support in the tournament?
I don't think this scenario is my favorite one, and I don't think actually it's a very plausible one because, the French team is very strong.
Okay.
I don't want to brag about it, but as a matter of fact, as you know, we've got two stars. They won already in 1998 and also again more recently in 2018. And then in 2022, they were in the final. And at the time we are speaking now, they're in the top 3 of the FIFA ranking. So they're very high, in terms of skills, competencies, and the players who are expected to be there on the ground are incredible players. So I don't think that elimination is very plausible.
You're super well prepared. I know very little about the World Cup, but I do want to know a bit more about your outfit today because I'm used to seeing you usually in a suit, and I see that today you're wearing something more typical for the World Cup.
Honestly, it's a good pretext for me to get rid of the suit, to have a more casual attire. So it's very easy. You've got a few symbols here. Of course, the French flag, on both sides.
Yes.
And then
explain that. Yes.
So this is a traditional animal representing France. It comes back to, basically to 2,000 years ago, at the time of Romans were occupying France and French people were resisting, and it became, the rooster became the symbol of France.
Okay.
And the 2 stars, because we won twice, as I mentioned before, the World Cup. So that's it.
Okay. Olivier, I see that you're passionate about football, but I want to know outside of that, do you have any specific sport that you like, and if you practice any of that in Kuwait?
I do like running, actually. So, so I do. What I like in Kuwait is that I would say 8 months in the year, I can jog and I can run, especially on boardwalks, in Chouer, Salmiya, Blajat, and more. And summertime is a bit more challenging, so I do it indoors.
Okay. But speaking of habits, have you adopted any more local habits, let's say, from the Kuwaiti side?
I would say the local tradition I do favor is a diwaniya. But usually
not quite a sport, but actually.
No, it's not a sport, but it might be a sport in the sense that, during Ramadan, for example, it becomes a marathon. Because, last year, for example, I participated in almost 80 diwaniyas during Ramadan time. So it becomes physical to some extent.
Okay.
But, there are very different types of diwaniyas and also football diwaniyas. Mm-hmm. So I hope that during the World Cup, I will go to some diwaniyas and watch a football games with my Kuwaiti friends.
Or maybe we can hear of a Diwania organized in the French embassy.
We could think about that, definitely.
Well, speaking of how you spend your time outside of Diwanias, I am curious to know, outside of your work experience and your duties, how do you spend your time in Kuwait?
I've got quite many friends, actually. You know that Kuwaiti people are very, very friendly people. They're as warm as the weather, I would say, even warmer. So, I've got plenty of opportunities to catch up with them, to go not only in Kuwait City, but in the chalets, also in the farms. I do love the farms. And in winter time in the desert.
Okay. Anything you would like to tell our audience?
I hope every team in the world a very good World Cup, and I wish also that I hope that of course that the French team will go to the end and will win.
Yes, exactly. And if your team gets out of the World Cup, don't forget to support France.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olivier.
Thank you so much.